Alright, this is TeemTHE here, VIDE0BOX with a new deck profile. What I call Grepher Turbo. I mean, dark decks have died recently, you know, due to the spawn of like all this other crap. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I just want to show that, yeah, dark decks are still viable. You know, I call it Grepher Turbo because Grepher is the main engine. I run 3 of them because I want to get Grepher into my hand as soon as possible. It's not necessary for all 3 of the Greffers to have their effects go off. You know, just one.
Plus, he looks like a freak.
Yeah.
Roid Rage!
Why can't you? You have to run a deck with a freak like this because he's actually pretty good. But anyways, Grepher, you know, you all know his effect. Discard a dark, send a dark from your deck to the graveyard, and yeah. You can do things like Plague, Necrogardener. You know, like some of the obvious stuff. You know, even Malicious. It's even at 2, it's still good.
Gotta poop them in the graveyard.
And yes, I'll leave one out. And you can also dump level eaters. You know, it's actually pretty broken because then you can get Malicious out and then level eat off of Malicious. You get 2 tributes already. Or stuff from Synchro material.
Not the card.
Yep. And then to help with synchros, change your synchron. It's actually it's a level 1 target. 0/0 is easily searchable. And when you use this for synchro material, you have to change the battle position of one monster your opponent controls.
Vegan mandatory.
And it's mandatory. And you can even do face downs. And it's a 1-for-1 target, so change your synchro is actually pretty decent. Try it out, it's fun.
Boss.
Also, Genix Ally Birdman. It's not legal yet, but this thing's pretty broken. You know, even outside of its own OTK. What you do is you return a monster you control to your hand, to special summon this thing from your hand. And once it leaves the field, after that, it gets removed from play. But it doesn't have to stay long. You can use it with Jester Conti. Basically, you special summon this gay clown. And then you have this in hand, special this by returning this, and then drop it again. So that way you have, you know, level like 4 stars of synchro or double tributes or tribute, whatever the hell you want to do. And I run 2 of these because this works as tribute fodder also. I'll go more into that later. And also run Sangan, you know, search out all the low level stuff all the weak stuff that I just went over. And 1 tomato, Battle Searcher, searches out anything. For the most part. And the point of the deck is to try and tribute stuff as much as possible, because the point is to basically spam level eaters off the high tributes and just keep continuing that cycle as much as possible. So that's why Malicious is somewhat key to get you started. So I'll run 1 Ryza. I mean, the deck is mainly dark, but you know, Ryza is still a good card to use.
Second best Monarch.
Second best Monarch to this guy, Caius.
The Jump Duck's nemesis.
Yes. You have to run 3, you know.
Fuck you, Spy.
Fuck anything that removes, you know, even Stardust. And then Jinzo, when you look at it upside down,
it's a penis.
What does that remind you of? And keep in mind, as you keep tributing, you can keep using level eaters to eat off the level, and it can just tribute again and again, basically. That's the whole point of the deck. And I run a variety of dark monsters to kind of help with that. You know, Hades.
The Jinzo Killer.
Basically, he attacks over anything that has effects that happen. It gets over Raikou, it gets over Dandelion.
My Dark Soul.
Dark Soul. Even Treeborn Frog won't be able to activate after Hades is through with it.
And
it doesn't only apply to himself, it applies to other fiends too. You know, like Caius or Vanity's Fiend. Imagine this on your field.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
Fuck my life.
Vanity's Fiend does not let you special summon, or the opponent, so once this is out, yeah, opponent is usually fucked.
I don't think you want to see those 3 monsters in real life.
Yep. And the last of the Dark Tributes, 1 Dark Lord Zerato. I mean, I don't know if you kept count, but I've gone over like 14 different Dark Monsters. And it's a level 8, but if you tribute 1 Dark Monster, you can still tribute summon this guy. And if you discard a Dark Monster to the graveyard, you pretty much nuke all their monsters, but it has to die at the end of the turn. But it's basically used for a free 28, and it's used for game pushes. This thing's actually pretty beast. And, you know, obvious Dark Monster in the deck, Gores. You need to run this guy. And, it's a dark deck, right? You kind of have to run this thing in here.
1 fucking Dark Arm Dragon.
Exactly. Because you can regulate your graveyard pretty easily, you know, because, you know, things come and go in the graveyard. Malicious, Level Eater, Necro, Plague. So many things, so many ways to regulate the graveyard. You can drop this easily.
Roar.
And because there's a lot of tribute monsters, go Soul Exchange, tribute their monster, and drop one of your Monarchs, Hades, Jinzo, whatever. Basically, just get rid of any threat. 2 MSTs for backfield control, along with a Giant Trinade. There's also Dark Hole and Reborn. Staples, basically. I run Rhoda to search out for Dark Grepher, or if I have nothing else to search out for Necrogardna, because yes, it's a warrior.
Ditch it with Grepher.
And ditch it with Grepher.
Which will be in hand.
Allure Darkness.
Draw power.
Draw power, speed through the deck, remove anything that's useless to you at the time. And then Fires of Doomsday. Basically, you end phase Fires of Doomsday so you can tribute dark tokens for your dark tributes. Hell, like you can even tribute set Malicious. Same shit. And then last spell, 1 for 1. It's a way to get your level 1 monsters out into the field. Change your Synchron, Level Eater, whatever you want, Gate Clown. It doesn't really matter. The point is to discard stuff to the graveyard to search out other stuff to get your to get the engine going. Now on the traps. The deck does have OTK pushes, but when you can't defeat the opponent right away, the opponent would most likely want to get rid of your stuff really quickly. You know, as a threat, Starlight Road prevents the opponent from actually destroying what you tried to set up. And once you activate this, they're like, crap.
Black Rose fail.
Exactly, or Dark Hole failed even. It's a dead draw sometimes, but you need to run it. Because I've seen it come in handy quite a bit. And then next, Mirror Force. Classic. I guess semi-staple, I don't know. I don't really know anymore. Gravekeeper's kind of ruined it with the Merrick deck because it looks like shit. You can watch our video on that.
Rented on that thing.
You know, I'll put a link like, you know, right here. Or here, or whatever.
Where the fuck?
Yeah, wherever the fuck here. I'll put an annotation. Yeah. And last 2 traps of the deck, Solemn Warning and Solemn Judgments.
No bitches.
For anything that can and will go wrong when you try to do stuff, there you go.
Fucked over by God.
Exactly. God fucks everything.
No bitches.
Even though that's not moral for him. Anyways, now on to synchros. This deck will synchro quite a bit.
Like a boss.
Well, I'll show off the token first. This is my Gorse token.
Gorse!
Looks really nice. Alright. I'll start off with 2 Formula Synchrons. Basically, you only get it through formulas, or not, well, you get it through Change Your Synchron, Level Eater, or Change Your Synchron and Gate Clown. You know, like, because if you 1 for 1 and then you can get this out somehow, you net a free card. So you don't minus when you synchro.
Fucking broken.
Then there's Armory Arm. You may not get this out too often, but you can get out with like Birdman, Level Eater, or Sandganon's Changer, you know. It's just an option, basically. And then there's Catastore and Android, basic level 5s. And then there's Brownack. Staple. Basically sends this, you pitch Dark to the graveyard. You have to set stuff up.
Then you drop Dark Arm.
And you can drop Dark Arm with it, whatever.
Rape Face.
And then there's Goyo Guardian. Staple for the most part. This is
Sex Master.
I guess this is the bigger gay clown.
Look at his freaking whip, man. He's about to freaking rape you.
What's called Goyo Lariats, whatever, I don't know. And then level 7, Black Rose Dragon. Yeah, field nuke. You kind of have to run this.
Staple.
And if you don't want to waste your Black Rose, you can summon this fucker, Scrap Archfiend.
Beat.
Yeah.
High beater.
Then, because I run 2 Starlight Roads, I have to run 2 Stardust Dragons. You know, there's the cool Yusei Fudo version and the even cooler first edition Ghost version. Yeah. I don't mean to show off. I actually like my first ed one. And Colossal Fighter. Staple for the most part. A lot of darks. There's enough warriors to actually make its attack increase significant. So, yeah, you can have fun with this.
Pound down samurais.
Yes.
No!
Scrap Dragon is actually a pretty good level 8 monster to get out because with Level Eater in the graveyard, you eat a level, pop this, pop another card, and then you can bring it right back and then attack with them. That's actually pretty cool. I underestimated this card at first.
I think a lot of people did.
And then last level 8, Red Dragon Archfiend. It's kind of lost its luster through time, but it's one of the few level 8 synchros that have a high base attack, and its effect is actually pretty good against people that stall.
Gravekeepers.
Yeah, this thing is actually pretty fun to use. And last synchro on the deck, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. This thing is broken, broken, broken. I don't really need to go into how much this thing can fuck up an opponent. And if you're wondering, I'm not borrowing Domotron's. This is actually my own. Actually, here's his right here.
Thanks, Handjob.
Yes, Domotron thanks Handjob for this one.
I'll rip you with it later.
Yeah, I think that might be a running gag from now on, but... Anyways, this is VIDE0BOX with, Grepher Turbo, showing you that dark decks are still feasible, still playable, even with the ban list nerfing it like crazy, because stuff like that and that give the deck some hope.
Yep, this has been another one of TeemTHE's deck lists.
Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. Any questions, just send a message. And yeah, peace out.
We are out.
Handjob.